106.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The opponents are locked in. The locations are set. Tonight we find out what the NFL season calendar looks like. This is the NFL Schedule Release Special. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and Josh DiMaggio, here's Alex Strofe.
Yeah, Josh DiMaggio is here, baby.
Hell yeah, boys.
NFL Schedule Release Special right here on ESPN Wisconsin alongside Gabe Neitzel. How do you say it? DiMaggio?
DiMaggio.
Why did nobody tell him how to say it? Josh DiMaggio with me. I'm Alex Strofe with you from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Studios in downtown Milwaukee at the Avenue. Fellas, we think we know it. We'll know for sure if we know it in about an hour when the NFL officially comes out with the schedule. But the mayor of Green Bay, the unofficial mayor of Green Bay, Kyle Kuzno, every year ahead of this. So he released the full schedule a couple of hours ago. We then saw from multiple sources, including Jason Wilde, who will join us later in the show, confirming all of the home dates. So then you just got to slot in the other 7 road games that have yet to be announced. I'm fired up about the schedule.
You're fired up about the schedule. You're ready to go. This is actually a pretty good schedule.
It's stacked.
There's no real oddities in terms of long road trips. Like I think of 2 years ago when they spent so much time away from Lambeau Field because they had to go to London, and technically that was a home game, and then they're bouncing all over the place. They only have one stretch of back-to-back road games. It's at the end of the season. That's it. According to the schedule from Kyle Kuzno.
And that stretches San Francisco, Miami, Thanksgiving, at Detroit on Thursday night, at Seattle on Sunday night, and then verse at home against New Orleans Monday Night Football. It's a primetime fix.
Four straight prime time, and the only prime time games on the schedule.
Yeah.
That's
as of right now.
Now, does week 1 count as a primetime game? Because it's standalone on a Friday night?
Yes, I guess that would technically also be a primetime.
That's probably how they're getting around not fully maxing out the 6 primetime games by having games. And I mean, they're hoping Minnesota or Chicago in 17-18 are games that they can flex into a primetime position.
Oh, I mean...
Yeah.
If you could flex Packers-Bears, because the Bears are actually good.
Because it matters.
That's a NBC dream.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be, right?
The Bears?
Yeah. They were 7-10 last year.
On paper, the Bears are supposed to be good, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, that franchise is one that I don't know if they have the right leadership in place. I honestly do not. And if that's not right, even if that roster it turns out to be as good as it looks like it is, and that defense was spectacular in the second half. I mean, if we want to tout how good Jordan Love was in the second half last year and think that that's going to lead to future success, I understand why Bears fans would think that about their defense, because their defense post-trade was one of the top 5 defenses in the league. Now, can Caleb Williams step in and do anything close to what C.J. Stroud was able to do a year ago? That's what it kind of comes down to for the Chicago Bears.
It's a good comparison.
That game seems to fit perfectly into a keep-out game for the Packers against the Bears, be it a wild card position, something along those lines. That's what you would imagine, because it's going to take Caleb Williams a bit to get going here. I don't know Chicago's schedule yet, but that seems like a perfect, they're on the verge of a playoff berth, and the Packers have the opportunity to keep them from the playoffs, which would be the biggest game of the week, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Let's run through it, just one by one real quick. So let's start with the obvious. We knew this one for weeks. Week 1, Packers at Philadelphia. Technically, that game will be played in Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's a win.
Why did you say that like Forrest Gump?
Because
he didn't know how to say Sao Paulo, but he heard me say it earlier today, so he's trying to imitate it. Yeah. I joined Mr. Irrelevant.
You made it 4 minutes without making fun of me. 4 minutes, Josh.
I wasn't bullying you. I was just picking on you. There's a difference.
I just want to point out, Gabe, I don't know if you saw this, and anybody listening or watching on YouTube at ESPN Madison, at ESPN Milwaukee, Josh tweeted out the 5-word phrase, "I will not bully Strofe," 12 times when promoting this show tonight. That's all his tweet
It's a
said.
promise
I
of
will not
driving.
bully Strope. It
Like-
took you 4 minutes.
Like Homer, like Bart Simpson on the board. That was me. I was trying my best.
Okay, so game 1, Packers of Philadelphia. We've spent plenty of time on that game over the course of the last few weeks. Week 2, the home opener for the Packers, the Indianapolis Colts. You get Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson in week number 2. It's kind of an interesting matchup. 2 young quarterbacks.
The Colts were still a pretty good team last year. And even though they were without Richardson for most of the season, they were relevant late in the season, had that big game against the Texans in week 18 to determine who was going to go to the playoffs for the AFC South. And that is a roster that is good. And if Anthony Richardson can return from his injury and look anything like he did in the first 4 or 5 games, like that could be, that's a good team. That is a roster that is solid. If that quarterback play turns into pretty good, like that could be a pretty good young quarterback matchup in week number 2.
That game's not a layup like it was last year. There's
Correct.
no backup.
There's not. Here's the thing about
He
the
doesn't
schedule.
have.
I don't know if there's any.
There's not a lot.
Yeah, there ain't. Tennessee, I would call it.
And that's week 3. They're at
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yes, but
I'm
on the
gonna drop
road,
that one in.
But on the road, you never know, right?
Who is their quarterback? Will Levis?
Will Levis is their quarterback.
Yeah.
I like Will Levis.
No more Derrick Henry.
Showed flashes last year. Yeah, they're
No
full
more
rebuild.
Vrabes.
Yeah, they decided to fire their coach.
Who's their head coach?
That's a good question. The fact that it doesn't jump into our heads quick is probably an indication.
I can't name any of their skill position players, I don't think.
Oh, they have DeAndre Hopkins and
Still?
Traylon Burks.
They do have,
Brian Callahan.
Burks.
Not very good.
Brian Callahan. I don't know.
Callahan.
That is the most average white name I've ever heard in my entire life. All right, week 3 is at Tennessee. And I think Josh's point is right. That's probably the easiest layup on that schedule. Week 4.
I think that's I looked at over-unders earlier today, and what do we have? The Titans 6.5.
That's got to be the lowest
Which
here.
is tied for the lowest total of any team.
Is it with the Vikings?
With the Vikings and the Cardinals. But they also have the longest odds of any team to make the playoffs. If you want to bet on the Titans to make the playoffs, it is plus 500. You would win a $500. You put down 100 for them to make the playoffs.
So does that mean they're the favorite to have the number 1 overall pick next year?
Maybe.
If they are the longest odds to make the
Well,
playoffs?
So
excuse me, the
facto?
longest odds on the Packers schedule. I
Yeah.
should have clarified.
Gotcha. Week 4, also the lowest odds in the Packers schedule. They return home to take on Minnesota. So just to recap, the first 4 games at Philadelphia and Sao Paulo, Brazil. Thank you very much. Week 2 returning, or rather opening, their home schedule against the Indianapolis Colts. Week 3 is at the Tennessee Titans. Week 4 returning back to Lambeau for their first divisional game of the season, all the way in week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. And will it be Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy? We will wait and see.
It's got to be J.J.
Yeah.
McCarthy.
You
by
think?
that point. By that point? Have you seen Sam Darnold play football?
Yeah, but like
The answer is no, you haven't recently, and there's a reason for that.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
League circles are high on him, though, Gabe.
They always are. There's always
You know
one.
what?
There's always one backup who.
Well, they're not high on Josh Rosen anymore. I'll say that much.
No.
I mean,
Johnny Manziel.
People were getting excited about Sam Darnold this time last year in San
Yeah.
Francisco. Like, oh, man, look out.
He can really fill the role there, and Brock Purdy's missing.
Sam Darnold, maybe he's the guy. Maybe he can unseat Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Guess what he didn't do? And come close to
Yeah.
doing.
Did you guys see the video circulating last week of J.J. McCarthy throwing to a coach that was like standing
Yeah, he can't
from me
throw
to you
left.
away, Gabe?
I did.
And he
He
threw to
can't-
his left side, and he missed him by 3 feet.
He's got the Trubisky disease. He can't throw left.
Yeah, no, he's the Zoolander of NFL quarterbacks.
They might win 4 games. Week 5, interesting one. Joshie, you and I talked about this earlier today, Mr. Relevant. Week 5 is Packers at the Rams, McVay, LaFleur.
Yeah, that game to me is intriguing because that's like probably the first real test, other than week 1, where you're looking at an offense and going, is the Packers defense going to be up to the measure against an offensive mastermind, probably the best offensive play caller in the NFL altogether, and then a lot of skill players. You got Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. They invested in a rookie at the running back position. That will be interesting to see how Jeff Hafley stacks up. And is it scheme or is it the guys just aren't ready? The defense isn't clicking.
Matthew Stafford has to be healthy for that, and that's always a question for the Rams at this point in his career.
It's early.
It is, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's early. It's week 5. That's
But
what,
again,
the
you
second
never
week of
know.
October.
You never know with Matthew Stafford. If he's healthy, that is sit on the couch, and I am terrified every time
No
that
doubt.
the Rams have the ball.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Week 6 opens the first of 2 in the Packers schedule, back-to-back home slates. Week 6, they host the Arizona Cardinals. Layup.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a layup on the schedule, I'd pick Arizona over Tennessee.
Really?
I don't believe in Kyler Murray whatsoever, and I don't think the Cardinals do either, Gabe.
See, but do you believe in Kyler Murray more than you believe in
Will Levis?
Will Levis?
Sophie's choice, bro. That's
Kyler Murray, being as athletic as he is, he had some decent enough games a year ago. They're trying to rebuild that wide receiver room.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I don't think that is as big of a layup as we want it to be. I mean, do I expect the Packers to win that? Do I expect them to be favored by around a touchdown? I do.
I mean, these are the games you have to win.
Yes, 100%.
No, go ahead.
Without a doubt.
Pre-bye week 7 is my favorite game on the schedule. That is C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans coming to Lambeau Field, taking on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I joke when I say this, but only a little bit. It's a Super Bowl preview.
Another offense that should test the Packers. Tank Dell, C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. Like that's really good.
Joe
that's
Mixon.
Really
Did you mention Joe
good.
Mixon?
Yeah, I have not. That is going to be an offense that is going to be locked and ready to go.
Yeah, they can score in bunches, and they have a defense that you would figure is getting better and better. They were in the playoffs, so this is
a playoff game.
Yeah, this is the measuring stick. This is the game everyone's going to look at and compare. How does Jordan Love look versus C.J. Stroud? How does the offense look in terms of firepower? And is the defense better? Is it worse? How do they match up? Because this is, I think, pretty much as long as both these guys are with their respective teams, being Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud, they're going to be compared year in and year out, and it's going to be who has MVPs, who has, the deepest runs in the playoffs. It's going to be just a consistent measuring bar for the Packers.
I love the Houston Texans offense. And if there's anything that's similar to the Packers offense in the AFC, it's the Houston Texans. Young quarterback, young receivers, proven running back.
They might be better at every position, though.
The thing is, their weapons aren't...
Not a running back.
Their weapons aren't as deep.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's on the back end there of his career. They don't have as many as the Packers, but
their top two.
Nico Collins looked very good, and Tank Dell was seemingly like a rising star.
Yeah. Well, same thing with Nico. Like, Nico had an unbelievable year ago. He was kind of growing there, and they just didn't have a quarterback to get him the football. And then they did, and he just exploded onto the scene last year. Like, if you take the Packers top 4 and the Texans top 4, the first 2 picks are Houston Texans receivers.
Oh, hey, and they added Stephon Diggs.
Forgot about that.
The top 3. I completely forgot about Stephon Diggs. Oh, man, is that a terrifying offense to play?
Isn't that a fun game?
No, that is not fun.
Oh, well, okay. Hold on a minute. That's week 7, which is likely, the week before Halloween, Gabe?
Sure.
It's May 15th. You can calm down a little bit. That's 5.5 months from now.
Not going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
I'm excited for Jair and Stephon Diggs.
And I was just about to say, right?
No, Jair's not even going on Stephon.
You get that rivalry.
If he's following someone, it's Nico.
Yes, he is. It's Stephon Diggs. That rivalry is renewed.
Yeah.
But if you want him to follow
would they have 2 years of crossover or 3?
What?
When he was in Minnesota.
I don't know. The rivalry isn't important. It's whoever.
I disagree with that.
Whoever views it, whoever Jair views as the most important. He's talked about how much he's wanted to face the best receiver as much as possible. That's his thing.
As long as Jeff Hafley allows him to do that, because Joe Barry sometimes did not.
Most of the time did not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if you want to keep Jair happy and a part of the team, you're going to give him those shots.
Okay, before we get to break, and we'll continue to run through the Packers' schedule. We're through the first 7 games. We'll look at the rest of the schedule coming up next. Jeff Hafley's defense. How quickly do you want to see like a true identity out of them? Because you have some tough offenses early, but you do have that week 2, 3, 4 stretch, Indianapolis, Tennessee, Minnesota, where the offenses aren't all that great. Indy's the best one of the 3, but by the end of that first 4-game stretch, do you really want to know?
I don't think we're going to know through the first 4-game stretch. And I don't think that's a problem because you want them to figure it out. You want them certainly to have an identity by late in the season. But even if you get to the bye, if you get through Jacksonville and Detroit, the next 2 games before you get to the bye, and you still don't quite have that identity, but you're starting to see some things form and start to come together, I think that's what you want to see. Like, you want to see them kind of progressing. You want to see some of the things that have just pissed us off as Packers fans over the last, it's 3rd and 4 and the corners are 8 yards off. Hey, let's not do that anymore. Like, I honestly just want those little things kind of early And then as the season progresses, kind of see what the identity is. Try to see if somebody like Quay Walker is going to be a better fit in this defense than he was with Joe Barry.
There's a real potential here that coming out of week 3 and 4, the Packers defenses look just completely overwhelming. They look like, oh my gosh, this is a top 5 defense. And then you face the Los Angeles Rams and come back to earth, and you kind of have to reevaluate. Which version are they? Are they the version that looked like they were going to hold teams to under, 20 points every week out? Or are they the team that gave up some big plays against good offenses?
Yeah, let's not do the Aaron Rodgers, now we have a defense thing after week 1.
Right.
Like, that didn't really work out at the end of that season.
You know what I'll be saying if they beat Philly 24-10?
Elite. Super Bowl.
Oh, we got a defense?
We got top 3 defense in the league. Well, watch out. Watch out. Game night till Josh DiMaggio, Alex Strofe with you here on ESPN Wisconsin. We're taking a look at the unofficial 2024 Packers schedule with you tonight until 8 o'clock. We'll actually know if Kyle Cousineau on Twitter at KCousino09 is correct. He's been correct in the past, so we're trusting him. We will continue to dive into each of those matchups, when they are, where they are, as we roll on next. This is the, what are we calling this? The NFL schedule release special?
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, 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 indeed.
Nailed it.
Right here on ESPN Wisconsin. More next.
More of ESPN Milwaukee's NFL schedule release special is coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tout, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light.
You are looking live. I am looking live at like 18 different things. I've got my glasses on. I can read it. If you don't want to do it, fine. I'll just lean over.
I got it.
Trade proposal. No, forget you. You had your chance. And you compared me to your grandpa.
May he rest in peace.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
The Vollrath Company implemented a DocuWare content management solution from James Imaging Systems. Vollrath Director of Information Systems, John Sharp.
They've helped us upgrade from a previous version of our document management to automate our accounts payable processes, to store the invoices, to the three-way match, and really streamline those processes.
In addition to a DocuWare content management solution, the key to continued success is the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
And as an extension of our team, they've got intimate knowledge of why we've done some of the things that we do. And when we run into any issues, they're there to support us.
A DocuWare content management solution from the James Imaging Systems Solutions Group.
They know exactly where we are in our project cycle so that we've always got continuous improvement.
Content management and workflow automation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you have a car, boat, ATV, or motorcycle taking up space in storage or your garage? Homer here, asking you to consider donating it to Rawhide Youth Services. Co-founded in 1965 by Bart and Cherry Starr, Rawhide is a local faith-based nonprofit organization dedicated to inspiring and equipping at-risk youth and their families. They need vehicle donations to support their mission of helping troubled youths transform their lives. Visit rawhide.org/donate and learn how you can help today.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. It's 2024 and an election year. The politicians are out there promising things they won't deliver. One thing is certain. Taxes are what pays for those promises. The IRS collects those taxes, and man, can they be brutal. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. We help you file back tax returns, get liens released, set up payment plans, represent you in audits, and get penalties reduced or eliminated. Some recent clients we helped include getting a $40,000 tax bill reduced by $32,000, filing a 2020 tax return to get a $7,000 refund, and negotiating a payment plan for $250 a month on a $30,000 tax bill. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
ESPN Wisconsin's NFL Schedule Release Special with you alongside Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, I'm Alex Strofe. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN in Madison. We're making our way through the unofficial 2024 Green Bay Packers schedule. So far, we have talked Week 1, and this one we know is official, at Philadelphia. We also know Week 2 is official, home game. Home opener in Week 2 against the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, Jordan Love. There's some juice to that game, in my opinion. Week 3, this one's unofficial. At the Tennessee Titans. Week 4, they return to Lambeau to host their first divisional game, play their first divisional game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings. Gabe says, without a doubt, it will be J.J. McCarthy, a quarterback for the Vikings.
Yeah. You want to know why? Because I haven't seen Sam Darnold play. Have not seen him play recently.
I think he's going to be the starter for them.
All year?
By Week 4, yeah.
Okay. If Sam Darnold is starting Week 4, you think that's less of a layup than the Cardinals?
Yes.
If Sam Darnold's starting at quarterback, the Packers are going to be favored by double digits.
We just gushed over the Texans' offense. The Vikings' offense isn't that far off. They have T.J. Hawkinson, who may not be healthy at that point.
Quarterback.
But Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Jordan Addison.
Yeah. It's very good.
Aaron Jones.
Pretty good.
Uh-huh.
You know what you need to make all those people happy?
QB.
Quarterback that can throw you the football.
Pill slings.
I didn't like that noise.
I wish I could have whistled it. Didn't have the hit in me that time.
Yeah, that's all right.
You win some, you lose
all right.
some.
Week 5, the Packers unofficially will visit the Los Angeles Rams. McVay versus LaFleur. Week 6 and 7, both home games. They will host the Arizona Cardinals in Week 6. They will host the Houston Texans in week number 7. That's where we've left off. Let's go to Week 8. Couple of quarterbacks looking to get paid. Jordan Love and the Packers visit the Jacksonville Jaguars. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know what to make of the Jaguars.
Yeah. I think the jury's still out on Trevor Lawrence.
I tend to agree.
They're a fine team. They're decent. They seem to be heading in the right direction. I think it's not. I'm not as afraid of them as, say, the Texans or the Rams, but that's a team. That's a game on the road.
Yep.
Could be warm at that time in Jacksonville. So
Could be. Isn't it always warm in Jacksonville? It's in Florida.
Yeah, but it's week 8. It's starting to get cooler. It's not.
Somebody call Brad Nortman. How cool does it get in Jacksonville?
I mean, it's not going to be in the 90s, I think, is Josh's point.
Right. Like, the Miami and Jacksonville always have the distinct advantage early in the season. They love home games for that reason because the opponents just aren't ready for that level of heat.
Going to get dehydrated quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly. When it comes to Jacksonville, I do think they're interesting. And if you are someone who is not 100% sold on Jordan Love, like that's what happened with Trevor Lawrence last year is a distinct possibility. Because what he did and the Jaguars did the week or the year before, very similar to what the Packers did. Kind of got hot in the second half of the season, started playing really well. Now, the Packers dominated their playoff game where they made a pretty big comeback in the playoff game that they won, but also won a playoff game a year ago. And then he just didn't really. I was expecting Trevor Lawrence after what he did in the second half of 2022. Okay, here he goes in 2023. He's going to take that step forward. He really didn't. Kind of idled and just kind of stayed where he was. And that is, again, if you're not somebody who's sold on Jordan Love, that is a distinct possibility. And what happened to them, they ended up being a 9-8 team who just missed out on the playoffs in the AFC.
They're viewed as basically just a tier below the Packers. Like, for the season-long win totals, they're 8.5, Packers are 9.5. They are just slightly behind the Packers. So that's going to be what you would presume a competitive game if all things shake out the way we are looking at the schedule now. That game should be competitive, close game.
But didn't you hear me say the Packers have a top 3 defense in the league?
Wait, they've already won that game 28-10?
Yeah.
They've already beaten
Philadelphia,
beaten the Eagles.
Yeah,
Okay.
and at this
Just
point
wanted
in the
to make
schedule,
sure.
they are 6-1.
Okay, all right.
Who'd they lose to?
I'm guessing the Rams.
That is correct.
Okay.
Wow.
Look at you.
You were doing a schedule game and you didn't even include us?
We'll do that later. That's for the 7 o'clock hour when we get real loopy. When you guys are, 11 hours or 12 hours away from being back on the air with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee? Yeah, that's when we'll play the schedule game. Don't you worry. Week 9, second divisional game, second home divisional game, the Detroit Lions.
This kicks off a crazy back part of the schedule for the Green Bay
insane.
Packers.
It's insane.
The back part is just, it is, it's not for the weak of heart, that's for sure.
For anybody that has your pen or paper out trying to follow the schedule, I'm going to rapid fire the next couple of games, so get ready to write. Joshy, though, Detroit before the bye, which is week 10, at home, could be a essentially middle of the season indication of who's in first place of the NFC North. That could be a game with a lot of implications going forward.
Yeah, another measuring stick game. It's the first time we are going to see Detroit. You want the Packers to be competitive in it. How does Detroit look at that point? Have they carried over their end of the season last year? And how do the Packers look in comparison? You would figure going into this, the Packers and Lions would be 1 and 2 in the division. If all things shake out the way we expect, this game could matter a whole lot, and you have to win your divisional games at home because on the road, no matter who it is, unless you're playing the Bears of the past, those games can be a coin toss.
Week 9 last year was the Rams. That's when the ship started to be righted. They won 4 of their next 5 games. That was the Brett Rippon game. That was week 9 of last year. They were 3-5 after week 9 because they had an early bye. Imagine it'll look a little bit different this year with how the front half of the schedule shakes out.
And I think the bye falling week 10 is really good.
Oh, it's right in the middle of the season.
I like having the bye at that point. You don't have that Thursday night game early, so you don't have the mini bye to kind of help you out. So it's 9 straight weeks of games on weekends, and that is a bit of a tough stretch. But again, a week 10 bye, I think if you're the Packers and you're a good team, you'd rather have that bye later than early.
I don't have the literature here in front of me, but there is...
The literature?
Yes, there has been studies that teams benefit from buys
clearly
later in the season than earlier in the season because you are given that extra week to rehab some of those injuries. Now, I don't know how that shakes out when you go through a stretch of Thanksgiving, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I don't know how that ends up looking when you follow that all up here future in the schedule, but you always want your bye week pretty much as late as possible.
Week 9 at home against Detroit. Week 10 is a bye. Week 11 you go to Chicago. That will be the Packers' first look at the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. It is a game that I anticipate will be closer than we expect on May 15th. That is a team who I think is going to be better than a lot of us think on May 15th.
It didn't feel like it, but they only won that game 17-10 in week 18. Like, it was a one-score game.
17-9, yep.
17-9.
Still a one-score game.
Yeah, still a one-score game. Like, as good as the Packers' offense was late in the season, that defense still held them to under 20 points.
And they were missing a lot of key pieces defensively.
So it's the defense, they've gotten that figured out. I think down in Chicago, it's whether or not Caleb Williams and that offense are humming. And I don't know if you've heard, they've already named him the starter. I mean, I don't know who else was going to start for them, but...
How crazy was that? Like, I understand he was asked the question.
Sure.
Head coach Matt Eberflus. But to just say, yeah, no competition.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we know, and then everybody made a big deal about it.
I don't know why everybody made a big deal out of it, because you drafted him number 1 overall. You don't have a quarter. You traded away your previous starter. Clearly, you didn't have another starter on your roster.
Brad Nortman and Kyle Wallace, Kyle Breston Nortman, weekdays from 2 to 5 on ESPN Wisconsin, the show I produce, they both were very angry that they did that he's taking first-team reps, and I just thought they sounded like the biggest idiots, and one of them played a successful career in the NFL.
I think obviously he's going to get first-team reps, but to come out and say it with a locker room full of veterans who are going to be looking at Caleb Williams with the side eye until he goes out there and prove it, to say it's your job, this is your team right out the gate, I think can send a message to the guys on the team like, well, this is it, that we're riding everything on Caleb Williams, and they are. But
do you know who the other quarterbacks on the roster are?
Doesn't matter to me. I mean,
it should if we're having this conversation. Because if you give the
because
keys,
that's not the point, Gabe.
Yeah,
the point is he has to earn it with a room full of veterans and a team that has been bad for years and done things the wrong way. You would imagine.
Nah.
We'll see.
No, you're the number one overall pick for a reason.
Yeah, that's great.
You don't earn it when you're the number one overall pick.
I think Andrew Luck was taking second team reps.
I'm sure that's how it works. Like, you just go in and you take multiple reps with different guys when you're young. It's not as crazy as you guys are saying.
You think DJ Moore is going to be really thrilled when Brett Rippon's throwing him footballs?
Is he a Bear now?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, he is.
Tyson Bagent on that team as well?
Tyson Bagent is also on that team.
Is he still?
Yeah.
They kept him? Huh.
Those are the quarterbacks that he's competing with in your little fantasy world.
Yeah, it's just the message sending is you're ride and die. He doesn't have to earn anything. It's his job. He doesn't have to come here.
What are you going to do next?
Anyone.
Blame Generation Z for the downfall of America? Is that your next take?
I think we.
How many number one overall picks weren't handed the number one job?
I think we as
zero.
I think we as fans underestimate
Bryce
how
Young
things
was handed the job.
I think we underestimate how things in locker rooms matter and how messaging matters. We see all the time when Tausch says it all the time on Wilde and Tausch. When the players are saying the same thing as the coaches, that's the good part. They have to message. Messaging doesn't matter at your 9-to-5 job as much as it does in a locker room filled with testosterone. Guys going to battle.
You think DJ Moore's like, yeah, we just drafted Caleb Williams number one overall. I really want to see him compete against Tyson Bagent, though. I need a competition in that room.
You don't even have to have a legitimate competition. That's the point I'm making. The point is that no matter the situation, you earn your right to be the starting quarterback in the NFL. That's my point. Everyone knows going into it, yeah, it's Caleb Williams. He's the guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the players are smart. We hear Chewy talk about that all the time. Players know who can play and who can't and who can't.
Yes.
You know who can't play?
Tyson Bagent.
You know who can't play?
Brett Rippon.
Do we know Caleb Williams can play yet? Because he hasn't taken a snap.
I guarantee you.
He hadn't taken a snap.
Guarantee you. Guarantee.
Oh, you're going to tell me he's better than Brett Rippon?
Yeah.
You're going out on the limb.
Going out on the limb.
Going out on the limb, everyone, today.
Hey, I don't even understand what we're talking about.
First 10 weeks of the Packers' schedule look like this unofficially, officially. At Philadelphia, in Sao Paulo, Brazil in Week 1. They return to Lambeau in Week 2 for their home opener against the Indianapolis Colts. Week 3, they head to Tennessee. Week 4, they host Minnesota. Week 5, they go to the Rams. Sean McVay versus Matt LaFleur. Back-to-back home games, Week 6 and 7. Arizona in 6, Houston in 7. They go to Jacksonville in Week 8. The Jaguars and the Packers. Week 8 in Jacksonville. Week number 9, the Packers host the Detroit Lions. Week 10 is the bye. Week 11, they go to Chicago. The next 5 games on the slate, oh my goodness. We'll tell you what those are. Coming up next, Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, Alex Strofe with you here on the ESPN Wisconsin NFL Schedule Release Special.
We're back with ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special after this on 94.5 ESPN.
There is a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. The sportsbook is absolutely amazing. I've always loved jetting over there to cash in a ticket, but now it is even better with the brand new state-of-the-art sportsbook. A 2,000 square foot video wall, which makes it feel like you don't need to leave ever. Luxury seating for over 200, an expanded food menu, and we'll be broadcasting there all year long. Potawatomi Sportsbook is next level, so go check out the brand new sportsbook with everything you need. Bet big, bet bold, paysbig.com. Get on over for the best sportsbook experience you will have.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. It's time to stock up for your Memorial Day weekend celebrations. Whether you need a couple of cases, a cold half barrel, a great bottle of wine, your favorite craft beer, or hard-to-find liquor, you'll find it at Discount Liquor, all at the lowest prices in town. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store in Milwaukee again. Have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend from all of us at Discount Liquor.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Check out all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain because you can't do all the outdoor stuff that you love to do. Hey, this is Brad Nortman, and if you're tired of achy joint pain, call QC Kinetics before you agree to surgery or steroids or any harmful medications. That's what tens of thousands of real-life patients around the country have done. Patients like Patrick. He loved to golf, but he couldn't even walk because of his knee pain. After his QC Kinetics regenerative treatment, he's back and his best handicap in 15 years. And Julie, a doctor told her the only way she could get relief is with knee replacement. She went to QC Kinetics for a second opinion, and now, no surgery. She's riding her bike and feeling great. QC Kinetics is at the top of its game with National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, and teaching. I'd love to be talking about your story next, so don't wait. Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Well, Mike, our family is expanding.
What? You're kidding. We donated the high chair and baby toys a long time ago.
Mike, we're not having a baby. Our PCI family needs to expand.
Oh, whew, you're right. Business keeps growing, and we need more carpenters.
We're looking for experienced full-time carpenters with a variety of skills.
Consider joining our team at Professional Construction, Inc.
Learn more and apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system. We need to show support to people with MS, and one way is through Walk MS, which is brand new in 2024. We embrace and are committed to bringing our entire MS community together, representative of all the various dimensions of our community, so that everyone feels at home and supported by the National MS Society. The excitement is building for the new Walk MS. Come see the community come together like never before. Visit walkms.org today and plan to join us around Wisconsin.
This is ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
ESPN Wisconsin's NFL Schedule Release Special. Tongue twister. Malik Strofe alongside the host of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy and 800 other programs, Gabe Neitzel. And the producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, if you were to do math on all the
your
shows
name's Josh DiMaggio.
you've hosted, let's get through it. Let's get to the point. Let's cut to the chase. All the shows you've hosted that have been like Good Karma brand centric, adding in also play-by-play, is it over 50 in your time here? Because you've been here since you were 12 years old. So in terms of, because like you've hosted pretty much in a fill-in portion every single show. There's also been shows that went by the wayside that you were on that you moved to. There's
went by the wayside. That was kind of a brutal way to say.
Well, I mean, some people just
Madison's baseball tonight.
Yeah, some people don't work here anymore. Like, there's names of people that are not employed by us, so it went by the wayside.
I doubt it's 50. But I could probably come up with a list and get back to you.
I don't want you to do it today because we got more things at hand. But I'd like a list of the amount of shows you've ever hosted.
All right, can do.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Josh. That was really good stuff. As we see it right now, Packers' unofficial official schedule: at Philadelphia, home against the Colts; at the Titans, home against the Vikings; at the Rams, home against the Cardinals; home against the Texans in Week 7; at the Jags in Week 8. Home against the Lions in Week 9. The bye right in the middle, Week 10. Week 11, they go to Chicago. If you're writing this down, get your pens ready, because I'm going to fly through the stretch, and then we're going to talk about it overall. This 5-game stretch will make or break the Packers season. Week 12, they host the 49ers. Week 13, on a short week, Thursday night, they host the Miami Dolphins.
That is
on
Thanksgiving. Yeah, so that'll be the Thursday night game, because obviously Detroit's early, and Dallas is
midday.
Midday.
Packers, Dolphins, nightcap, Thanksgiving at Lambeau Field. Week 14, a full week later, they get a full week. They play Thursday night at Detroit. It's their second meeting with the Lions in 5 weeks. Week 15, they get a mini bye. They go to Seattle, Sunday Night Football. And then week 16, they return home to host the New Orleans Saints with 8 days rest on Monday Night Football. That is weeks 12 through 16. That is an insane 5-game stretch.
First and foremost, I am shocked that they avoided a Christmas Day game. I thought for sure, especially once the announcement came out today, that Netflix was indeed going to be the carrier for the 2 Christmas Day games on Wednesday, December 25th this year. I figured that, okay, you're putting a game on there. Oh, Christmas Day, who do we get on there that we know nationwide people are going to care and people are going to go to Netflix? Green Bay Packers.
They did all right with those games, though. All AFC teams. Chiefs at Steelers is the early one. Ravens at Texans is the late one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the Texans are the one that kind of make you think twice, but as we talked about earlier, they're a team that everybody's looking at similar to the Packers. The Packers just have the legacy. So Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens are all teams you look at and go, yeah, I see the draw.
Oh, yeah. And then, again, but even with the Texans, then, yes. I mean, that could be a potential playoff preview type thing if the Texans are as good as they were a year ago.
They got good games, even though Chiefs, Steelers, who knows what that will end up looking like.
By the way, that Week 16 game against New Orleans, that's on Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
That's December 23rd.
Correct.
What a way to kick off the holiday week. No?
Monday night demolishing of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, and then you
Merry
wake
Christmas
you wake
to
up
Alex Strofe.
You wake up and Santa's there.
Well, no, you wake up and it's
Christmas
Eve.
Did you guys have divorced parents growing up?
No. Did not.
Santa came both days, different houses. Hit one house on the 24th.
Santa does have to get. He's got a lot of houses.
He's got a lot of houses to get. So
some houses do get Santa a day early.
Yeah, all my childhood. Thank you very much. Anyway, so
it hasn't stuck with you. I can see.
What's that?
Nothing.
Santa twice a year.
Just. Week 17, then they have the Minnesota Vikings. Week 17 on the road, then they wrap up Week 18 with the Chicago Bears.
That game's getting flexed, Week 18. That'll be the Sunday night game.
Packers
will be in as the divisional winner.
At the very least, that's a 325 game.
Yeah. It's a Sunday night game. Bears win and they're in. Packers have already solidified the division, but they could solidify the bye.
Yeah, I mean,
they're very optimistic for the next 3 months.
The NFL's done a really good job in recent years of making most every of these games matter in the Week 17 and Week 18. There is a scenario that either both teams are already in the playoffs because it's not unheard of for a wild card team to clinch before Week 18, or one of them's completely not in the running. I would hope it would be the Bears in this scenario, but I have hard time seeing the Bears with what we saw at the end of the season, the additions to the team being completely out of the mix for the playoffs at that point.
They were 7-10 team a year ago, and obviously last year's success does not indicate success the following year, but they are a very intriguing team to me this year with the addition of Caleb Williams, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, etc. Obviously a full season with Montez Sweat on the defensive side. A very intriguing team to me. I think they'll be alive in Week 18, and if they're not, they're going to be alive in Week 17. So
the NFL views them similar to the Jags, to the Browns, to the Chargers, Rams.
So what's interesting about the Bears is, so again, I looked this up earlier, their win total is at 8.5. And then I also looked what you would have to bet and what the odds are for, will this team make the playoffs? If you want to bet yes, the Bears will make the playoffs, it's minus 104. If you want to bet no, it's minus 118. So the favorite there, just slightly is no. But I mean, this is, again, the way that Vegas is looking at this, they look at the Bears as a borderline playoff team, as maybe that 8th team that's just on the outside. Maybe they can sneak in like the Packers did in that last wild card spot a year ago.
Mm-hmm. A couple games either way for them on their prediction can be difference between locked up or not close.
If you want to get into our schedule release special, the number is 800-990-3776. Steve on the text lines, going back to an earlier conversation we had, said, I mean, look at D-Bach and Tay. This is when we were talking about C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. Look at David Bakhtiari and Devontae Adams. Now they think Love is a good quarterback after one season. And Josh and Heartland text in, can't wait to hear Gabe host the travel show on WTMJ this Saturday morning. make it number 51.
Be the best damn travel show you've ever listened to.
Darts trade. So going back to that stretch after the bye, week 10 is the bye, right smack dab in the middle of the season. You play 9 games in a row, all Sundays other than week 1, that Friday game against Philadelphia. So you kind of get, you get, 9 days between week 1 and week 2, and then it's 7 between every other game up until the bye. You open up play after the bye at Soldier Field against the Bears. You host San Francisco. You host Miami on Thanksgiving night on a short week. You go to Detroit the next Thursday night. You go to Seattle the following Sunday night. Then you return home to host New Orleans December 23rd, the day before the first appearance by Santa Claus against the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football. You go to Minnesota. You wrap up at home against Chicago. That's a heck of a second half of the season.
I am so glad that the schedule before the bye is not as stacked as after. Like, especially with having the late bye. And so, again, that's a tough part of the schedule just because you're playing 9 games in a row. And then the back part is so hard because, well, you're just playing a lot of really good teams.
That's where the good teams
That's
are.
where you have San Francisco and Miami and Detroit and see it like all back-to-back. And then, again, dealing with some wonky back-to-back Thursday. Dealing with these standalone games of Thursday night in prime time, Thursday night in prime time, Sunday night football, Monday night football. Like, you have these standalone games where it's just kind of a weird part of the schedule.
Going to be some late nights for you on Green Bay game night.
Yeah, me and Homer, we're going to be hanging out and having a good time.
Not a lot of sleep over the course of 4 weeks.
It's around the,
Sleep when your dad game.
Yeah, exactly. Let's lead into the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Joshy,
time off.
Joshy, what do you typically do on December 23rd?
December 23rd?
Yeah, you hit me as a guy that's like getting drunk with high school buddies.
No, I don't hang out with as many high school buddies as you'd imagine. If they come down here to the Milwaukee area, I'll hang out with them. But yeah, I typically like to take off because I'm bad with taking vacation days. So I usually have off like from the 23rd through the end of the year. So yeah, I'll be drinking, boozing, hanging out. It's Christmas cheer. I'll be spreading it with a couple highlights.
I don't know what you were expecting out of the answer. That's about the answer I was expecting.
Timid Berserker 24 on YouTube. Timid Berserker. Timmy.
I didn't think that would break him.
Yeah.
Timmy says, liking the group vibe so far.
We have a good time.
Gabe, would you agree?
Yeah, no, hey, I love hanging out with this crew.
I was going to say, we all like each other, presumably. I like both of you.
You like to bully me.
Yeah. You bat you around like a cat does with catnip.
Like a cat.
You're a good sport about it. We have fun here.
You're a weird guy. All right, Packers schedule is not official. I'm going to kick your ass in the break. Packers schedule is not official quite yet. We do have a leak that we think is official. We will find out in less than 15 minutes whether or not it is accurate. We will continue to revisit it. We will continue to talk it. At some point tonight, we will play the schedule game. At some point tonight, Jason Wilde will join us. At some point tonight, I'm going to punch Josh DiMaggio in the face. All still ahead.
Bring it, Pipsqueak.
More of ESPN Milwaukee's NFL schedule release special is coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Trade proposal. Christian Watson. Packers receive Justin Jefferson. I think I found a way for us to get Ayuk, Jefferson, and T. Higgins and not have to give up all that much.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
There are many things you can say about NBA playoff basketball, but the one thing you absolutely have to remember, because Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks said it best last night, after the New York Knicks completely destroyed the Indiana Pacers in Game 5 to take a 3-2 series lead, is that every game is different, and no game leads to another game no matter what the result has been. He is spot on with that, because plenty of you know who you are, was sounding the death knell for the Knicks. Too beat up. They've run out of steam. Indiana is younger and ready, and what happened? They got the brakes beaten off of them. Plenty of you, and you know who you are, said the same thing when the Minnesota Timberwolves went up 2-0 to the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are cooked, losing the first 2 games at home, and here we are. They have a 3-2 series lead. Jalen Brunson has always shown that he is wise beyond his years, nor more so than last night after winning Game 5, because he's right. Every game is different, no matter what has happened before in any NBA playoff series. In 60 seconds, LeBron's new coach.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Bobby Marks does a great job as an ESPN NBA front office inside. He's been a part of a couple of organizations in the NBA. He knows a little something about trying to find the right coach with the right organization, and if it doesn't turn out right, what did you miss? He put it out there on the morning show, meaning on Sportsmanlike Radio with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman on Wednesday, that if he were the Los Angeles Lakers, he would hire J.J. Redick as his head coach. Yeah, that J.J. Redick, the one who does games on ESPN with Doris Burke and Mike Breen, and who has had a chance to do a podcast or two with maybe his future guy to coach when it comes to LeBron James. Maybe be careful what you wish for, because even reports are out there that the Los Angeles Lakers are intrigued about J.J. Redick taking over as head coach. That's not to say he won't be a good head coach, but it doesn't mean that just because LeBron wants something, it's the best something for the future of the Lakers. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman.
They put themselves in harm's way for us. They sacrifice time with their loved ones for us. They are our heroes. That's why we at Ewald Automotive proudly salute those who serve and are brave first responders. Thank you for all you do. We're offering service members and their families the benefits of our Military Advantage program with special pricing and incentives on every vehicle. Plus, all month long, we'll donate to local military and first responder charities for every car sold. Go to ewaldauto.com.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The best part about the schedule release is that the Green Bay Packers social media channels have really stepped up their game. It's ESPN Wisconsin's NFL Schedule Release Special alongside Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, Alex Strofe with you. They just tweeted out a 9.5-minute warning to the schedule release that featured Larry McCarron. And if you are not familiar with The Rock, his pinky on one hand is completely bent to the side. So he has essentially 9.5 functional fingers. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so when football guys were football guys with their wonky fingers.
And their leather helmets.
Uh-huh.
Here you go on your Generation Z rant.
I do think it's... I was being sarcastic there. I do think it's interesting that the Packers sort of succumbed to the public pressure. David Bakhtiari.
I was about to say, it wasn't even just public pressure. The call was coming from inside the building.
Yeah, and then there was other players who agreed with him. So I'm interested in the fact that the Packers seem to have taken a very different approach and are trying to be fun and entertaining, which has gotten some teams in trouble in the past, but you'd hope the Packers, who are historically conservative when it came to the humor, are going to play it pretty safe still.
Remember when the Chargers tweeted about P.F. Chang's? Do you guys have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
The lore behind that is... It was just...
Josh knows all the internet lore.
Yeah, it was...
P.F. Shanks in the Charger.
That account was just a guy's account who started Twitter very early, and he worked in their marketing department. And when they switched it over to the Chargers account, they just kept all the old tweets on there. So you can just see old tweets of his from when he was like the first guy, one of the first people to be using Twitter.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Okay. 2011. I'm going to find my wife and head to P.F. Chang's at Chargers. Anyway. We are just minutes away from the official release of the Packers schedule, but we are a bunch of geniuses on this panel, and we've got all 17 games for you ahead of time. Week 1 at Philadelphia and Sao Paulo. Spoiler alert. It's a Friday night.
How do you feel about that?
I was just about to ask you the same question.
I personally don't like it as somebody who has been affiliated with high school football and Catholic Memorial and Marquette and all the games that we've done here with Good Karma Brands over the last handful of years. I don't like the fact that college football is starting to creep in on Friday night. I don't like the NFL is creeping in on Friday night. I wish they would just leave that alone. Do I understand why they're doing it?
Of course.
Of course I understand why. The money's there, but it just, you were kind of hoping that at some point the NFL would put up a stop sign somewhere, and clearly they're not. If they see an advantage, if they see something they can do, they're absolutely
They're playing week 1 on Friday and Christmas on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and historically, the not just the Packers, the NFL has respected like the sanctity of the Friday night football because it is the fostering ground for the guys who end up in the NFL. So, like, they've talked a lot about how much they don't want games on Friday, and they're going to just keep creeping into it.
You love it, don't you?
What?
Friday night, week 1.
And here's the thing. I love when my team's the first one to play because you get the anxiousness out of the week, or one of the first one. Obviously, there's still Thursday night games. But I hate on Sunday when I get there and go, well, there's no Packers. Even though I just watched them on Thursday, I want Sunday noon every single time.
Sunday noon?
Sunday noon. That's the best time. I wake up.
3:25 is better.
I have to watch the early games and anticipate and think about it. Believe me, Red Zone's on 24/7. Red Zone starts, I'm on.
Well, that's not 24/7.
Red Zone ends, I turn it off.
But
sometimes I listen to the music.
7-1.
The best Red Zone time is from noon to 3.
Correct.
Yeah, this is a good time.
And there's only like 3 games
But
on
I can't be paying attention to injury reports and taking bullets and having fantasy games swing while the Packers aren't even playing. Can't have it. It's too much.
I got bad news for you, Joshy.
A lot of it?
Jordan Love's good. Guess what ain't happening? When we get the official schedule and we get the list of this, I'm not anticipating a lot of noon kickoffs. For the
I would
Green Bay
imagine there's
Packers.
going to be a lot of 3:25.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And how about that stretch starting with Thanksgiving against the Miami Dolphins at 7:20 p.m. on Thanksgiving night?
Prime time.
Following week, Thursday Night Football, first game of the week in week 14. Following week, you got to wait all the way until Sunday Night Football, Joshy.
Prime time.
And then the following week, they are the final game of the week on Monday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints, which is what game?
Prime time.
Hey, it's good for the Packers. Me personally, this is what this show's about. My life and how I like watching games.
The good news is, as of right now, you only have to wait all day for Sunday night once.
That's a good thing. We like that. Monday night, though, I hate when the week is over and you have to just wait. I got to show back to work and talk about the game coming. I need a game to happen.
Some oddities in the Packers' schedule. Bill on the text line pointing it out. The gold package this year,
which
if
is
this
the
schedule is
Milwaukee
correct,
package, yeah.
the Milwaukee package. Bears, Lions, Vikings.
All the division games.
Serves those people right
And
who
Bill-
try and bully the gold package who saved the Packers.
The Bill
Serves
says
them right.
the green package people are really going to be pissed off, says Bill. And Billy in Sussex chimes in with this. Just have to chime in, fellas. I just had a rot dog at the corners of Brookfield.
Hey! Say what's up to our guy.
And it was delicious. Still didn't see a menu item named after the morning show, though.
No,
you guys are going to have
that's-
to work on that.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's never happened.
All
I
right.
don't think it's ever going to happen.
2 minutes away from the official schedule release. We think we have it. We'll find out if we're wrong. That's next on ESPN Wisconsin.
Looking for a premium cocktail that's guiltless? Look no further than Carbless. They're ready-to-drink handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktails without carbs, sugar, or gluten, so you can indulge in something delicious without the guilt. With flavors like black raspberry, cranberry, and pineapple, Carbless has something for everyone. So why not give it a try when it comes to indulging in a premium ready-to-drink cocktail with Carbless? Liss is more. Find them online and at retailers near you.
For the ultimate sports betting experience, get in the game at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Unleash your inner champion with dozens of betting kiosks, a VIP deck, high-end bar, first-class restaurant, broadcast booth, a 2,000-square-foot video wall, and more. It's a sports fan's paradise, 24/7. Bet above the rest. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Visit the website for more. Must be 21 years old. All bets must be made on site.
On Thursday, May 30th, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Deco in West Allis. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program, serving thousands of urban elementary students in 49 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Hey guys, it's Brad Nortman here to tell you about a great offer at Bank 5-9. I know we're all looking for ways to save our money, and at Bank 5-9, you can earn more by opening a money market account today. With rates as high as 5.3%, you'll earn more while working with a true local community bank. Be sure to check out their great CDs too. Helping you save more of your money is another way Bank 5-9 is making lives better. For details, visit bank59.com/MM specials. Member FDIC.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The opponents are locked in. The locations are set. Tonight we find out what the NFL season calendar looks like. This is the NFL schedule release special. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and Josh DiMaggio, here's Alex Strofe.
Yeah, Josh DiMaggio is still with us. Gabe Neitzel is still with us. I'm Alex Strofe. I'm still with you. And the Packers' schedule is here in its entirety. The schedule we told you the last hour was accurate. However, we have game times now, which just makes it a little bit more fun. 800-990-3776, your way into our schedule release special. Which game are you most looking forward to? You a gold package member? You get all divisional matchups this year. Oh, baby. Good for you, Milwaukee. What'd you call them, Joshie? The people that saved the team?
Yes. The gold package. The Milwaukee fans saved the Green Bay Packers.
And they reaped the rewards of that this year. 3 games in the gold package, all divisional opponents.
About time those people saw some respect.
Darn straight, Josh. Well said. All right, let's run it down. Here we go. Week 1, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That is considered a road game for the Packers. It is a 7:15 kickoff on Friday, September 6th. We knew that one already. Here you go, Josh. Week 2 against the Colts at Lambeau Field. Noon kickoff.
Nooner.
Love a nooner.
Week 3 at the Tennessee Titans. Noon kickoff. Nobody?
Nooner.
Thank you.
I didn't know we needed to repeat it every time.
Well, Josh.
I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted watching the Packers schedule release video.
Can you wait for a commercial break?
Keep going.
Week 4 at home against the Minnesota Vikings. First divisional game on the schedule.
Nooner.
Nooner.
3 in a row.
Wow.
3 noons in a row.
You know, things are just coming up Joshy tonight.
Week 5 at the Los Angeles Rams, not so fast. 3:25 kickoff at LA.
I mean, it's out in LA. That makes sense.
It's the second best time.
Okay. All right.
I thought you said Thursday night was better.
No, he hates Thursday night.
Yeah, because then Saturday, Sunday happens. What the hell? Where's the Packers?
I got nothing to do.
Week 6, home against the Cardinals, nooner.
Hell yeah.
Week 7, home against the Texans.
Nooner?
I am shocked by that one.
Me too.
I thought that would be
Me
a
too.
3:25. Stroud, Love. I thought that Fox or CBS would jump all over that.
Week 8 at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Sunday, October 27th. Joshy.
Nooner.
Another nooner.
A lot of them.
I
was not expecting
Not
this
a lot after this point, though. Yeah. Week 11 after the bye at the Bears is a nooner.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's too early to flex.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. Week 12, the Packers return home to host the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, November 24th. That is a 3:25 game.
If that was at noon, I would have had a lot of questions.
That's an NFC Championship game preview. Book it, mark it.
Wow.
Call it right now.
Wow.
That's the
this
NFC
guy
Championship
calling a
game.
shot.
That's the NFC Championship game. Week 13, the Packers are home again. That's 4 days later. Thanksgiving, as we mentioned earlier, that is a 7:20 p.m. kickoff. That is the late game on Thanksgiving. Packers, Dolphins, 2 of the best offenses in the league, maybe, this upcoming year, but it certainly was an offense that the Packers compared themselves to last year. John Runyon Jr., the former Packer, saying, we're like the Dolphins, who scored 70 points the week prior to him saying that. Still one of the more idiotic things said last year.
Did we discover that was basically like they were going to use motion more, like the Dolphins were at the time?
I
Like the
believe so.
running start stuff. That was basically all that really ended up meaning.
Correct.
So after playing on a Thursday on Thanksgiving, the Packers don't get 10 days of rest. They just get a week. They're back on Thursday the following week as they visit the Detroit Lions on Thursday,
I feel
December
like
5th.
The league's done that a lot. Either the Thursday before, or like the Cowboys will play because then they're playing the Thursday after. The Lions end up playing the Thursday after. I mean, they've done that a lot, especially with those two teams are always playing on Thanksgiving, where they end up playing on back-to-back Thursdays. So while it does seem strange, the Packers are doing it because they haven't.
The Lions.
A lot of teams have done it before.
And obviously they're playing the Lions, so they will do it again this year. Week 15, then they get 10 days or 9 days, whatever the math there is. They will head to Seattle for Sunday Night Football on Sunday, December 15th, 7:20 kickoff between the Packers and the Seahawks in their penultimate road game of the regular season. What?
You used penultimate.
Correctly, might add. Might add.
Credit to you, penalty back to you.
Thank you, man. Week 16, Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field, under the lights, December 23rd. What a way to kick off the holiday week, as the Packers will once again destroy
a little snow in the background, Christmas coming. Yeah, sign me up for that.
Do you think the flyover for that game will not be private jets or military jets? It'll be a sleigh and reindeer?
I don't know if Mark Murphy has that kind of pull with the big guy from the North Pole.
I was going to say, you got Kris Kringle up there himself flying over with Rudolph leading the charge.
I mean, if there is a United States sports town that resembles the North Pole, it ain't Buffalo, it's Green Bay.
Have you been there?
Buffalo or Green Bay?
North Pole.
Any three of them.
Well, I grew up in Green Bay, so yes, check. I have not been to
two
Buffalo,
Christmases from
although
here.
Buffalo is on the bucket list.
Okay.
Bucket list?
Yeah, I got to eat wings in Buffalo.
Okay. All right.
You want to go with me?
No. You're like Jesse Nelson when he went to Detroit in like week 6.
Buffalo's a little bit better than Detroit. At least I'm jumping through tables and eating wings where they originated.
Good on Buffalo after October. Like everything prior to that.
I mean, I kind of see what you're saying, but I'm not going to Buffalo in July.
No.
The only thing to do there is go to a Bills game.
They had to cancel a game because they couldn't get out of their driveways. The players had to be rescued on snowmobiles.
Green Bay would never. Week 16, did I mention that one already? Yeah, New Orleans. That's why I asked about the flyover. Week 17 is their final away game. They go to the Vikings. That is a nooner.
Not shocking. Minnesota's going to be bad.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And then TBD on the time here and the day, Week 18, the Packers wrap up the regular season hosting the Bears, just like they did last year.
It's the way the league has done it, where they put a couple of games on Saturday, and then everybody else will be on Sunday.
How long have they been doing the TBD thing?
Several years at this point.
I mean, adding the Saturday portion, I think last year was kind of the first time they did that in the final week. The last handful of years, they've kind of kept everything up in the air, so then that way it's easier for them to kind of build the schedule of, okay, we're going to start with Sunday Night Football and then kind of work backwards.
Is it universal? Because like the Carolina Panthers, you can put them at noon, no matter who they're playing.
That's facts. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So
correct.
let's just get that one out of the way, or is everybody TBD?
Technically, out of respect for the Panthers, because stranger things have happened in the NFL, they're going to put TBD for everyone, Josh.
Fair.
Could
That's
be
a good question.
noon one.
I'm glad you asked it so we could cover it. But
Sadler and Madison text in on the text line, 800-990-3776. Nooners Buffet, Joshy. Nooners Buffet.
That's a Nooners Buffet. We're going to be having Nooners coming out of our eyeballs to start the season.
Ruben on the ESPN Madison YouTube chat. You guys are making this Los Angeles traffic fly by. Go, Pack, go.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
8
listening.
noon games for you, Joshy.
Yeah.
Nooners Buffet.
Compared to last season, I could look this up, but how many like noon games / primetime games did they play last year? Because I feel like the NFL made a pretty heavy bet on the Packers, or am I just misremembering?
No, I
325
remember
against Chicago. Atlanta and New Orleans were both noon. And then this is where I get lost. Detroit was Thursday night. Monday was for the Raiders. It doesn't say the game times. I'm just trying to remember.
You're trying to remember
Thursday and Monday, we know what those are.
In my stupid noggin. And they had the early bye. I think Denver was later, wasn't it? That was a 325 because it was in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be, right? Like,
Just tell me if I'm stupid, Gabe.
No, you're not stupid because it's West Coast, so it had to be a later game.
Minnesota, I don't know.
That was noon.
I gave it a shot, Joshy.
All right. Last year.
It's funny that you went to your computer to not find the times of the games, which Gabe I'm assuming found.
The Packers played 5 primetime games a year ago, and right now they have 5 nooners they had last year. Might help with your microphone just instead of sitting back and yelling.
How many nooners?
Thank you for the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also,
8 Nooners. Wow.
Nooners buffet again.
It's a good day to be a Packers fan.
Brett,
we got Nooners coming
Brett
on. Brett
Eau Claire says you guys will have a lot of early mornings at Lambeau. We sure will. We had a lot last year, though, too. That's me more so than these two.
As somebody who
Richards.
used to go up there quite a bit, the noon games are the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're home at a decent hour.
There's
That is
nothing.
nice.
There's nothing worse than sitting in the traffic on your way back to Milwaukee, and it's like
Hold on a
12:30.
minute.
You're not
Hold
even
on
to
a minute.
Sheboygan yet.
But I will say, last year, December 3rd, 2023, Taylor Swift in town, Travis Kelce in town, Patrick Mahomes in town. The Packers beat the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. That was the most magical night at Lambeau Field I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a Sunday night in Lambeau is great. As a fan,
Sunday
viewing
church,
it,
man.
Going there. I loved being at Lambeau as a fan for a noon game. You wake up early, especially if you're staying in the area. You start boozing right away. You go down, walk around. Nothing better.
You get one game. Which one are you going to?
At Lambeau? Or
any
overall?
game. Any game on the schedule. You get one game. Which one are you going to?
Thanksgiving, Miami.
Yeah,
Not too
really?
cold yet. I think it's going to be the best game of the season. The other one that sticks out to me at Lambeau is Houston. That's a noon game in October, which the weather will be great. Week 7 against Houston or week 13 against Miami. How am I too?
Houston would be my pick.
Yeah, I think
I want to see the Texans in person.
Yeah, and that game's got a good chance for fireworks. Week 9 against Detroit.
Do you mean the fireworks they shoot off or just offensively?
Offensively. Could be a shootout, a proverbial shootout.
But if it is a shootout, that means the fireworks outside the stadium would go off quite
Lots
often
of
because that means the
fireworks.
Packers would be scoring a lot.
Yeah,
Double whammy.
Double firework whammy. Nooners and double firework whammies.
God.
We got everything
It's
here.
unbelievable we do this stuff full time. I mean, frankly, unbelievable. Thank you to our employers for letting us be here this evening. Speaking of which, you guys ready to play the schedule game?
Doing it next?
We're doing it next. Right here on ESPN Wisconsin's NFL Schedule Release Special. We're back with you in 4.
More of ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special is coming up on 94.5 ESPN. The biggest games of the NBA playoffs happen right here.
McConnell sends it to Toppin, who reverse jams on the alley-oop. They can pop again. Jokic for 3. Good!
We are the home of the NBA playoffs on ESPN
Here's
Radio.
Kyrie putting Tucker on skates. 3 knocked down. It is the shot of Game 6. We're directing traffic with a right-hand dribble. Spins baseline. Jumpers up and in. Working the Nuggets.
94.5 ESPN and streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
Bike crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing, and it makes it comfortable for the life we live, which is an active one.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside.
For the first time, our whole house actually feels like the same climate.
And no drafts. It's a game changer.
Hi, I'm Gina Della from Pella. And if you order today, you get 0% interest for up to 48 months. When it comes to replacing or upgrading your windows and doors, you want to be confident about your decisions. With Pella Design Works, you can see what your home could look like before you buy. Black frame windows or white, vinyl, wood, or fiberglass. Bring your vision to life and rest assured it's the perfect style for your home. Right now, get 0% interest-free financing for up to 48 months when you order by May 31st. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. That's 5/31/2024.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pretty simple. You just pick more or less on 2 or more players' stats for a shot to win up to 100x on your cash. And testing my skills on Prize Picks this playoff basketball season, it's the most simple way to get in on the action. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineup. Made my first $10 deposit and received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000. This playoff season, the star players mean more on Prize Picks. Keep an eye out for starred players on the board, and you could receive a 10% payout boost if they're in your winning lineup. Download the app today and use that code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your higher love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The Packers' schedule is out. All 17 games, 16 game times released.
Nooners.
And we are reacting. 8 nooners. 8 nooners from Josh DiMaggio. He is so happy. Will you drink more than 8 nooners while watching a nooner?
I typically don't drink and watch the Packers.
Really?
Because that causes stress drinking. You drink more than you want to.
It's fair.
And, work. I got to work on it. Thursdays, holidays, there'll be some boozing. But standard game, not a big drinker. Don't like to even leave the house, really. I like to be in my sanctum, my sanctuary watching.
No high lifes in your sanctum?
If you're feeling it. Not typically, though.
All right. These rules aren't hard and fast, Trophy.
Yeah, no.
They're,
He's a weird guy.
Duh.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a tattoo of Homer on his leg.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He's wearing shorts. He's advertising it for the world today. This isn't the behavior of a normal human being.
All right, Jason Wilde is going to join us next segment, but first, we got to do it. We got to be the first people on planet Earth to play the schedule game.
All right.
Joshie, you want to lead us?
Week 1 in Sao Paulo. I got the Packers beating the Philadelphia Eagles.
I also have the Packers winning in week 1.
They're going to lose to the Eagles.
You say that's so definitive. I don't like it.
Do you think the Eagles are better than the Packers this season? Record-wise. Just record-wise.
Record-wise, I'm going to say yes. I think they're going to be in a worse division.
I would agree.
So I think they're going to have some games that are easier for them to win. And look, maybe Matt LaFleur learned his lesson from the last time they traveled internationally. I just don't have faith that he's going to be able to keep his disdain in and
poopy pants.
Yeah, not have it kind of leak out to the rest of the team.
I got too into here on this, not to go too deep on it because we got a lot to get to, but I got too invested in it's an away game, but you're not in Philly, so you got to steal this one. That's kind of my rationale.
I think it's going to be kind of a home game of sorts. Big Packers contingency in Brazil.
As much as a game in Brazil for the Packers can be, sure, yeah.
I mean, I feel like their game in London was, I think 60-40?
Rodgers broke his thumb.
Sure, but I'm just saying from a crowd standpoint, it was probably 60-40 Packers.
That team wasn't very good.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page. Week 2, Joshie. Nooner.
We got a nooner. I got a win against the Indianapolis Colts. I just think the Packers are a more established team. They've got more things figured out.
I imagine this is going to be unanimous, right, Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay,
no, they're winning.
We all get the Packers.
Yeah.
Week 3 at Tennessee.
I got to win.
There's
no way they should.
3-0. 3-0. Week 4, nooner against the Vikings at Lambeau.
I got to win.
Win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my first loss next, though, against the Rams.
Yeah, traveling out to Los Angeles, taking on the Rams. I've got
if
that
Matthew Stafford's healthy, they lose that game.
Correct.
I agree.
Yep.
Week 6, the Cardinals, nooner at Lambeau Field.
Win.
It's a win.
Layup. Easiest win of the season, biggest win of the season, statistically.
I'm not.
Blow out.
I think they're better. I think they're better than the Vikings.
I don't.
You've made that clear.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're hearing what you're putting down.
I think the Cardinals will have the number 1 overall pick next year. Continue, Josh.
Versus the Houston Texans. Is this a nooner? Yeah.
It is a nooner, and it's at Lambeau. This is a tricky one. Gabe, go ahead.
I'm going to say they win this one. I think that this is a game where, kind of like last year with the Chiefs at home, the Packers kind of rose to the occasion. I think that this could definitely be a shootout, but I think the Packers offense is going to be ready to go. High-scoring game. I think the Packers win.
I put this one down as a loss basically because I started looking at the rest of the schedule and said, well, they got to have some losses in here. They can't.
That's exactly how I feel, Josh.
I think this could be a close game. If it's a shootout, it's a coin flip. Historically, those just are last person who has the ball.
I believe this will be the game where we come back the next day. You guys come back 7 a.m. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and you say, uh-oh, the defense. I got the Texans. Week 8, they head to Jacksonville, nooner.
I got them losing 2 in a row here. I got them losing to Jacksonville. It's just, you're going down to Jacksonville. You've played a tough game. For some reason, Trevor Lawrence puts it together. The Packers have a disappointing loss in Jacksonville.
I think they bounce back. I've got them beating Jacksonville.
I have a win against Jacksonville.
Bye week? We've all got a win there.
You missed a game.
Sure did. Week 9 at
There we go.
Lambeau.
Hey.
Gets the Detroit Lions. That's what I meant.
I am going to say that as a loss. A bit of a letdown after they win. Big game against Houston, then they go on the road, beat Jacksonville, come back home to Detroit. I'm going to say that's a bit of a letdown.
I think it's a loss as well at Lambeau.
I got it as a win.
3rd year in a row, by the way, that would be a loss at Lambeau to the Lions.
So I think we all have them at 6-3 right now.
Correct.
Wow, interesting.
I mean, different way of getting there, but we're all 6-3.
So, okay, before we get into the stretch after the bye, because we talked about it before. Yeah. And they're 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
You feeling okay at this point?
Oh, yes. Yeah. If you're 6-3 at any point in the NFL season, I think you're feeling pretty good. You're winning 2 out of every 3, You're winning 2 out of every 3. You're going to be in a good spot at the end of the season.
For a team that was 3-6 after 9 games last year.
Yeah.
6-3 is pretty good. It's a good improvement. All right, let's move on to week number 11 when they head to Chicago to take on the Bears.
I've got it as a win.
Win.
Yeah.
You like the Bears, man.
He is the most preeminent Packers-Bears fan.
I'm not a Bears fan.
he's the preeminent Bears-Packers fan.
I am not a Bears fan. I think everybody goes, oh, this
People
team.
are saying.
This might be the.
Heard it on the street.
You guys are idiots. I got the Bears 2 losses in a row.
Oh, wow. So
heading into week 12
against San Francisco.
Against San Francisco. They would have lost before the bye and after the bye. And remember, traditionally after the bye, Matt LaFleur not very good. I believe they lost at Denver after the bye last year. I think they lose at Chicago after the bye. And I think he's only won 1 game, if I'm not mistaken, after the bye in his head coaching career.
I think you're correct.
So that's why I have them losing at Chicago. San Francisco, Sunday, 3:25, week 12.
Yep.
Loss.
Win. They bounce back.
Back-to-back losses. And then they rally against the best team in the league.
Crazier things have happened. I don't think so. That team's still good. They still got enough pieces.
Remember when they beat the Super Bowl champions in Week 14 last year?
Remember when they lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs?
That's all they do to the 49ers. Finally, they get their lick back. I've got the Niners losing rather in Week 12. Week 13, short week, Thanksgiving night. Packers host the Miami Dolphins.
That's a win.
Yeah, I have a win. I don't believe in Tua and the Dolphins.
I also have a win.
Not even. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like maybe the 5th hardest game on the schedule for me. But it really wasn't that close. I've got the Packers winning that one. Week 14, they head to Detroit. Will it be a season sweep for the Detroit Lions?
I have a loss.
I think they go into Detroit like they did last year and win.
I agree with you, Gabe.
I think they
split.
I think they split with Detroit. It's just going to be awkward where just kind of the way it falls. I think they lose at home, win at Detroit.
I have a split just the opposite way.
Sunday night, Week 15 at Seattle.
This one I went back and forth on a few times just because it's kind of a weird, you're going up to Seattle. I have a win, though.
I'm going to say this is a loss.
I have a loss as well.
It's one of the toughest places to play, and I just feel with the schedule being as wonky as it is, that they're going to trip up in one of these, And I think that's the one that makes the most sense to me for them to
You
lose.
guys can see on my schedule here that I've done with each of ours. I had win, crossed it off, put loss, crossed it off, and put it back as a win. So going into this one with a lot of conviction.
Going to be a tight one out there in Seattle.
He's sitting in Kyle Wallace's seat. It's only naturally flip-flops a few times. Week 16 is Monday night against the New Orleans Saints. Did I skip a game?
In Lambeau Field? No, you did not. In Lambeau Field, let's win.
I agree.
Yeah. I would be in panic mode if they lost this one.
Week 17, they go to Minnesota, their final road game. It is a nooner on December 29th, their final game of the calendar year at Minnesota.
That's a win.
Yeah. J.J. McCarthy stinks.
He sure does.
Sam Darnold.
J.J. McCarthy will be the quarterback for that one.
Oh, okay.
Week 4, though.
It's going to be J.J. McCarthy.
Week 4, it'll be Sam Darnold. Final game of the year at Lambeau Field. TBD on when they will play, either Saturday or Sunday, against the Chicago Bears.
I have a win. The Packers hold off the Bears for one more season and stay undefeated.
12-0 for Matt LaFleur and Elton Jenkins and company.
Yeah. I've got that as a win as well. So right now I've got 12-5.
I also have that as a win. I did not write down my predictions. Josh, you do some math for me.
Who did you have in the Jacksonville game?
I had the Packers.
You had the Packers. Alrighty, here. 1, 2, 3,
this is great radio. Thanks.
5. 12-5.
You have them at 12-5?
12-5.
You have them at
12-5 across the
No
board.
kidding.
I mean, again, very different ways of getting there, but yeah, we're all...
Ribbit. Toads. Bunch of toads here. 9.5 win team. We all got them at 12.
Is 12-5 good enough to win the NFC North?
I don't think so. I think I got to get to 13.
It might be tiebreaker scenario for me. Who knows?
13. Again, 12-5. Yes. Then, I think we all had them splitting against Detroit.
We did.
So then, it becomes even more complicated at that point. But 13, I think, wins you outright. 12, you're probably looking at tiebreakers.
Play your schedule game at home. Let us know what you get. Tweet it, text it, 800-990-3776, YouTube chat, ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee. I would love to see where you have this team. We all have them at 12-5, and we all did it differently. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think
You guys made fun of me. I have the same record as you. For having them lose to the Bears finally, for the first time in Matt LaFleur's head coaching tenure.
Yeah, you're you.
What does that mean?
It's unbecoming, the way you approach things.
I mean, again, you're the...
Have you noticed he just says things to say things?
Yes.
What are we doing here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
I had to count. I'm supposed to look at 17 W. This isn't high level stuff here.
Yeah, no, it's just...
Your camera's over there, pal. Show the camera.
This camera's right there.
Isn't my camera right there?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm looking at it, guys.
No, I got you in a 2-shot, so Josh, to the right.
You hear, Pebble? I can see it, guys. I'm not lying to you.
I didn't know you were getting crazy back there. Alrighty.
You're an idiot. 12-5 for the Packers. We have them, all three of us, have them over the 9.5 win total. Significantly over the 9.5 win total.
Yeah.
We have them competing pretty much until the end of the year for the NFC North title.
Yeah. I think it comes down to the end. I would have loved to see the schedule makers have Packers Lions.
And for that, by the way, that post-bye week stretch, we only had them, I think, each losing 2 games. I think we had them going 6-2 over those final 8 games.
Yeah, I only have the 2 losses.
Yep, agreed.
I don't know that will be the case.
It's a really tough stretch. Again, because it's at Chicago. You're at Seattle. San Francisco's tough wherever you play them. I can't imagine Minnesota sneaking up on people, but again, both Bears games are after the bye. And by the time we hit the bye, I think we're going to have a pretty good idea of who the Chicago Bears are.
Yeah, when you look at the schedule, the last 4 games, you can easily write the story of 4 wins.
Yep.
So for it to be that they're going 6-2 after the bye, it's not that shocking. There is a hiccup. There is a 5-4 potential, or what am I looking for here? But there's a potential some of these games go the opposite way. But Chicago, Minnesota, New Orleans, you feel pretty good about.
No doubt. Chris in Nashville tweets in at GNeitzel16, at Alex_Strofe, at Josh_DiMaggio. The Badgers are at USC in Los Angeles on September 28th. The Packers are there the following week at the Rams on October 6th. A football bookend, a SoCal vacation for Wisconsin fans?
Kind of early for that SoCal vacation, though, right?
It's early.
Yeah. Because you're still kind of getting the weather here.
It's at least 8 days. If you fly in Saturday and fly out Sunday, that's 8 days in LA. It's a long trip.
I'm pro vacation, but when it...
Oh, really are you? Hot take there, guy.
I bet I take less than you.
I bet that's not true. I bet that's not true.
What,
Mr. Mexico.
What I'm trying to say here is when the start of the new year happens...
Senor Mexico.
Yes,
excuse me.
Thank you very much. When the start of the new year hits and it's like, it's dark at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
That's when you want to get somewhere nice. Shooting your bullet too early in October on your big, long, week-long vacation, I think you might end up regretting it.
Now, do I think people are going to do this? Yeah. Absolutely. Without a doubt. There are going to be some Packers and Badgers fans that do this.
People with more fungible funds than us.
Correct.
Brett and Eau Claire has them at 11-6. Joseph has them at 13-4. And on the text line, a couple of texts coming in. Jared in the 608 says, I just want to say I missed hearing Josh's laugh.
Hey, thanks, pal.
And then Daniel the Sloth chimes in.
Oh, haven't heard from him in forever.
It sounds like a 17-0 record is amongst us. Jason Wilde joins us next from Green Bay to break down all things green and gold schedule right here on the ESPN Wisconsin NFL schedule release special.
We're back with ESPN Milwaukee's NFL schedule release special after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't put your life on hold to earn a degree. Lakeland University has a long history of making students' dreams come true. Since 1862, build a schedule that meets your needs with options for 7- and 12-week courses, evening classes, and the ability to join classes remotely. Lakeland University is Wisconsin's leader in evening and online education. They have a main campus in Sheboygan County and 6 centers throughout the whole state. Lakeland University. Affordable, quality, flexible. Find out your next steps at info.lakeland.edu.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tosher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family-owned business for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off and 0% interest for 12 months on your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system. We need to show support to people with MS, and one way is through Walk MS, which is brand new in 2024. We embrace and are committed to bringing our entire MS community together, representative of all the various dimensions of our community, so that everyone feels at home and supported by the National MS Society. The excitement is building for the new Walk MS. Come see the community come together like never before. Visit walkms.org today and plan to join us around Wisconsin.
You're all pumped up to start a home remodeling project, but the day you plan to start...
And then the next day comes. You have a dentist appointment, one kid needs a ride to practice, your mom is stopping by.
Forget it. Your busy life is already hectic enough. You need Professional Construction, Inc.
Jen Latta always talks about how pleased she is with PCI's team.
And our expert team can remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, home additions, and more.
Commercial projects? No problem. We have you covered there as well.
Visit us at professionalconstructioninc.com.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Lower prices. Those aren't words you hear too often these days. But at your local Milwaukee and Chicago area IKEA stores, they've rolled out new lower prices on hundreds of your favorite furniture and home furnishing options throughout the store, making it more affordable to give any room in your home a stylish makeover. Utilizing innovations in design, production, and packaging, we strive to cut costs and lower prices without compromising quality, passing those savings on to you. Visit your local IKEA stores to see what savings are coming next.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
This is ESPN Milwaukee's NFL Schedule Release Special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
ESPN Wisconsin's NFL Schedule Release Special alongside Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, Alex Strofe with you from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All studios in the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. And if we have to make one call, you know who we're making it to break down.
David Gruber?
You just love killing momentum. That's your favorite thing to do.
You said one call.
Yeah, it's a Pavlovian response.
I said if we have one call to make to break down the Packers schedule.
Yeah.
That's all.
I bet Jason agrees with me.
We call the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, who you hear each and every weekday from 9 to noon. Alongside the Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher, it is our friend, our teammate, Jason Wilde. Jason, do you agree with Josh?
Great job, Josh, because if you wouldn't have said that, I was going to. So you nailed it.
You'll learn. I mean, you've only been in Milwaukee a couple of weeks. Here's Trophy.
All right, Jason, thanks for the time, buddy.
414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Lofts is one call. That's all.
And we make our one call to Jason Wilde. What's up, Jason? How are you?
Giddy. You guys sound giddy. You excited about the schedule? 17-0.
We're just having fun.
Yeah.
Three pals talking football on a Wednesday night, Jason.
Could be worse.
It's. I'll tell you this. It's a fascinating schedule. I don't remember ever in my. This will be season 29 for me. I don't ever remember in all these years. I remember Ron Wolf getting pissed about having 3 straight road games. I remember him getting pissed about the Packers not having enough home games in December. I remember, the always looking at the schedule to see when, and Rodgers used to talk about this all the time, when do they play in Chicago? But I don't ever remember 4 straight weeks of primetime games. I don't think it's ever happened.
It's
obviously
wild.
There are more. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's more primetime opportunities than ever before. And in fact, the Packers included this in their release. I had mentioned it because I kind of pre-wrote the story after getting some schedule leaks. Instead of putting them on Twitter, I was trying to get my story written so I could file it as soon as possible to the State Journal after the schedule became official. But, first of all, all these games being in a row and back-to-back Thursday nights, to me that's fascinating. Remember back in 2015, I know you guys recall that they played back-to-back Thursdays. They played at home on Thanksgiving against the Bears and lost. And then they had the Hail Mary in Detroit to win. So that was a memorable back-to-back. And then the other time that I can recall on my watch of them playing back-to-back Thursdays was in 2007 when they played the early game on Thanksgiving in Detroit, beat the Lions there, and then a week later played the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas in prime time on Thursday Night Football. And, of course, Brett Favre got hurt. Aaron Rodgers came in and kind of announced that he was the future in a very, very loud voice with his performance against the Cowboys.
Jason, few different intricacies of the schedule. You mentioned one of them, obviously, the back-to-back-to-back-to-back primetime games. The gold package games are all divisional rivals this year for the Milwaukee crowd. They get the Vikings game, they get the Bears game, they get the Vikings game. Have you ever seen that before? I mean, obviously, with having 3 games, that's relatively new with the 9 home games. But all divisional games for the gold package this year. That's unique.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's week 2 and week 5 of it's game 2 and game 5 of the home schedule normally, and now obviously this year they get the third game. I do think there's a couple important things because, we obviously kicked up a hornet's nest today.
Sure did.
With our discussion of the gold package. And again, I say this as a former, my brother still has the tickets, but like my grandparents bought those tickets in the 1940s. And if you're like Homer and you want to try and argue that Bob Harlan should not have he always used the phrase, brought the fans with them when they pulled out of Milwaukee and had all their games in Green Bay. I think it was the right decision to play all the games in Green Bay. I think it was the right decision to keep that Milwaukee crowd as part of the fabric of the organization and to appreciate what those fans did to help save the franchise. And that is not hyperbole. They helped save the franchise by there being games in Milwaukee starting in the 40s. That said, I also think it's important to note that when people are coming off the waiting list, and Stroh, if you're a Green Bay guy, so you know this, like when people come off the waiting list now, they get the green package or the gold package. So if you've been on the waiting list since like birth and you get the phone call, which I learned today, and I didn't know this, that you also get an $8,000 bill for getting off the waiting list. You could be a Green Bay resident, you could be an Ohio resident, you could be a Minnesota resident, and you could end up with the green or gold package. So those gold packages are no longer just, those are the people that were in Milwaukee at County Stadium. They moved out in 94. The last game at County Stadium is Favre, when he had been expressly told not to run by Mike Holmgren, runs in for the game-winning touchdown against his old team, the Atlanta Falcons, out in the outfield by the bullpen for the game-winning touchdown. So, look, I think that those fans are important. I don't, for me anyway, but I'm sitting in my, as Tausch likes to call it, ivory tower. So I don't have a sense really for the fans, but I don't think there's a vast difference between green package fans and gold package fans. I think both groups being on offense. So I think it's really interesting that they got those three games. Usually they get one division game and one out-of-division game. I don't remember, with all the noon starts, which, I'm excited about because I love that omelet bar in the press box. I don't know how many of those gold package games. One obviously is not decided at all yet, the Chicago game in the finale. But are the other two noon starts for gold package fans?
No, the Minnesota game is a nooner, and then Detroit is a 3:25.
And obviously Chicago is TBD in Week 18.
Right, and last year, we got a fair amount of texts and calls this morning on this. Like, everybody was pissed because, so many Milwaukee fans, air quotes, sold their tickets to that Lions game last year. Well, it was a Thursday night. Like, I'm sorry, I'm no spring chicken anymore. If I was living in Milwaukee and I was going to those games as a fan, like driving back and being stuck in traffic on 43 coming back, I'm not surprised. So, that's one of the reasons why Bob Harlan was always so adamant and did everything he could to make sure that the NFL did not make Game 2 or Game 5 on their home slate a nighttime game.
The Packers play one division opponent in the first 8 games of the season. Do you think with the Jeff Hafley's new defense, do you find that uniquely beneficial or kind of a non-factor for the Packers heading into the season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just find it quirky.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like last year, what I found to be weird. Now, they end the season the same exact way they did last year.
Yep.
At Minnesota, home against the Bears. But I thought it was so weird they played the Bears in the opener and in the finale. Like, I know that it's not completely unheard of, but that, what could happen in the intervening 15 weeks? You could be playing a completely different team. And quite frankly, while the Packers, crushed them in the opener, like, the Packers were a different team than they were in the first half of the season by the time the Bears saw them again. The Bears were, more or less the same team. So I do think it's interesting that they don't have that many division games. At the same time, like, I'm not sure that having only one division game in the first 8, it does do this. If it's going to come down to tiebreakers, if it's going to come down to head-to-head stuff, for the season, and most of their division games are then in the second half of the season and after the bye.
Yeah, after the bye is, I mean, you mentioned the crazy stretch of all those primetime games, but that's when a lot of the big-time and marquee opponents happen as well, Jason. Chicago both times, at Detroit, San Francisco, Miami. It's not an easy back part of the schedule as they try to get ready for, what we are hoping and as, assuming a playoff run.
Yeah, and I can say iron sharpens iron, and you got to play those teams in the playoffs, so you might as well play them in the regular season and challenge yourself and all that kind of stuff. But no, I'd rather play teams that aren't very good. I guess I'd rather play good teams later in the year when I would hope that my team has gotten itself straightened out. What I think is interesting is, unless I counted wrong, only 7 out of the 17 games are against teams that made the playoffs last year, right? Mm-hmm. 2 against the Lions, and then obviously 5 others. On paper, which is not where the games are played, this isn't like some overwhelmingly daunting schedule, right? Like you've got the 49ers, who are the best team that you face, you've got at home, and the Eagles, who have been to the playoffs the last 3 years, and you're going to be jockeying for playoff position. You get them in a neutral site, in Brazil. So,
but again, Jason, San Francisco, Miami, Detroit, all playoff teams from a year ago, back to back to back. Uh-huh. And then you cap that off with, I know Seattle wasn't a playoff team a year ago. They were 2 seasons ago, and you have to go to Seattle. That, to me, is without a doubt the toughest stretch of schedule they have from late November into early December.
Yeah, you're right. And look, in fairness, 3 AFC teams didn't make the playoffs despite having a above 500 record, mm-hmm. right? And the Colts are one of them, mm-hmm. Who they have in week 2, and they're going to have Anthony Richardson back, which, certainly their hope would be that getting their prized draft pick quarterback healthy after, surgery after 4 games last year?
4 or 5.
They're going to think they're a different team. And so, the problem, and I've always said this, so it's a little bit hypocritical of me to have made that 7 games against playoff teams statement, but the league does change from year to year, right? I always look back on 19, and I don't brag about many predictions because most of mine are wrong, but I did predict that the Packers would go to the playoffs in Matt LaFleur's first year, which was something that none of their Super Bowl winning coaches, not Lombardi, not Holmgren, not McCarthy, had done in their first year as the Packers coach. At the same time, I didn't have the guts to say they're going to be playing in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl in Matt LaFleur's first year. So, but they were a team that had gone, 6-9-1 in McCarthy/Philbin's year in 18?
Yep, correct.
And they ended up being a 13-3 team. So things change rapidly year to year with certain teams that didn't make the playoffs the previous year, the Packers being one of them from 22 to 23, end up being better the next year. So I'm really eager to see where the biggest challenges of this schedule end up being beyond that stretch, because I think we can all agree with Gabe that is, as the schedule comes out, the biggest challenging stretch. Whereas last year, it's probably worth pointing out that when the schedule came out, we didn't see them having the 4-game losing streak swoon in October when they lost to teams that I don't think you would have said, they're going to lose all these games.
Totally.
When the schedule came out.
Totally. Jason, before we let you go, I just want to go back to what Joshy mentioned about the Packers schedule. It's much worse for the Bears. Their first divisional game is against the Packers in Week 11. Week 11, Week 12, Week 11, Week 12, Week 13, Week 15, Week 16, Week 18. All of the divisional games for the Bears. First divisional game is in Week 11. And the other 2 games in between that stretch, San Francisco, Seattle. That's a tough back half of the schedule for the Bears. Now the Vikings are going to be worse than that. But otherwise,
in fairness to them, though, your hope would be, because obviously I love the fact that they announced that Caleb Williams is going to be their starting quarterback.
We did talk about that
May.
earlier. Ridiculous. Yeah.
But on the bright side for them, at least, right, they're theoretically, he has gotten experience against lesser/non-divisional teams, and your hope is that by the time he gets into that back half of the schedule, he's no longer playing like a rookie either. So we'll have to wait and see.
We will have to wait and see. We'll listen to you beginning at 9 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, thanks so much for the time as always, buddy.
All right, fellas. Take care. Be good.
That's your one call to Jason Wilde. There you have it. We'll wrap it up. Coming up next, it's ESPN Wisconsin's NFL schedule release special.
More of ESPN Milwaukee's NFL schedule release special is coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel. Join myself and Stephen Watson every Tuesday night at 6 here on 94.5 ESPN for On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Each and every Tuesday, Stephen and I are going to give you the latest in Wisconsin golf, sprinkle in some of the latest in our own golf games, plus talk about professional golf. Get your golf fix each and every Tuesday night at 6 with On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips, right here on 94.5 ESPN, or listen back to the show with Wisconsin On Demand.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay, Milwaukee, and Madison in Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course, camp on site all weekend, and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Make sure you get tickets for the NTT IndyCar Series race at Road America June 6th through the 9th. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It is the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. Pretty simple. You just pick more or less on 2 or more players' stats for a shot to win up to 100x on your cash. And testing my skills on Prize Picks this playoff basketball season, it's the most simple way to get in on the action. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineup. Made my first $10 deposit and received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000. This playoff season, the star players mean more on Prize Picks. Keep an eye out for starred players on the board, and you could receive a 10% payout boost if they're in your winning lineup. Download the app today and use that code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for 2, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 24-pack Essential Everyday Purified Water, 2 for $7. 8.2 to 20-ounce selected varieties CPAC Seafood, $6.99. 4.5 to 5.3 ounce selected varieties Chobani Flips Yogurts, 2 for $3. Gallon Prairie Farms White Milk, $3.99. Half gallon Prairie Farms Chocolate Milk, $2.49.
Why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my favorite go-to drink. That's Carbless. Carbless is a ready-to-drink, handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktail. Even better, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. And listen to this, less carbonation. This leads to less bloat. I can indulge in something delicious without having that health guilt. Carbless is crafted right here in Wisconsin. It has a flavor for everyone, from black raspberry to cranberry, pineapple and lemon, and my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online and at a retailer near you. Less is more.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee's NFL schedule release special on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Wrapping up the NFL schedule release special here on ESPN Wisconsin alongside Gabe Neitzel and Josh DiMaggio. I'm Alex Strofe with you. Right, I'm trying
so
to...
funny.
Collect yourself.
Got a frog in my
Breathe.
throat. Please hold. Well, also, I was looking at the
sure
Packers.
It's not a toad?
Ribbit.
That was good. That was good. That was a good game. No, I'm looking at this Packers schedule. I tried to give it a second chance. They released a 4-minute video.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
It's really bad.
I feel like they put in more effort this year. I appreciate the effort that was put in. I just don't. I don't get the concept.
I don't either.
All these people are.
Is it American Idol? Like, is that what they're going for?
I think so. That all these people are trying out to be members of the pep rally. Again, they got some. Again, I mean, we knew that Barstool Big Cat was going to be in this video. You know, they get Lil Wayne.
How about our guy Rob Demovsky?
Yeah, Demo's in there, feeling miserably at kicking field goals. They get Aaron Andrews. They got some big names. Braun Strowman, former WWE champion, who's a huge Packers fan as well.
Lives in Wisconsin. Ran into him at a Shinedown concert last year. Not even a joke.
Yeah, he's got a place up in Dodge County.
I refuse to comment.
On Shinedown or WWE?
Shinedown.
What's wrong with Shinedown, Josh?
He's refusing comment. I don't know about refusing what he's refusing comment part you don't understand.
How else do you want me to say?
But so they got a lot of people to agree to be in this video. It just doesn't hit.
It was all star power, no substance.
Yeah.
Well said.
They put a lot into it. I applaud their effort. I, however, didn't find it all that amusing.
Well, one of my favorite team videos that was done last year, and it looks like I haven't watched it back, but it looks like they just ran it back again. The Titans just going out onto Broadway in Nashville.
They did the same thing?
Yeah, it looks like they did the same thing, which is a little disappointing because it was funny last year, probably less.
The Chargers are always out there too.
Where they show just a random person a logo, and the person has to identify the team name, and hilarity ensues.
The Chargers did The Sims this year, a video of The Sims. I haven't watched it, but people...
I know they did like an anime episode last year.
Yes, like a full-fledged one.
Yeah, they always break out the creativity.
There's a lot of effort that went into their video.
Will you guys spend the rest of the night looking at all those schedule release videos? Because I do find them entertaining. I go through a ton of them every year.
I won't.
If one pops across my timeline...
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching the Chargers and the ones that people are
correct. The ones that people are talking about, we'll just repopulate them on my timeline. Like, I'm not going to go through all 32. People are already doing that for me. I don't have to worry about that.
Excuse me. Mr. Big Time over there.
Well, I'm just saying.
Doesn't have time to watch schedule release videos.
I'm saying people on my timeline.
I will be up until 1 a.m. and I will watch all 32 and I will report back.
That's insane.
I will come back tomorrow. 2 p.m.
With a power ranking
Kyle Bruston Nortman.
Of all 32.
You got it. And I guarantee to you, the Packers will be 28 or lower. It was pretty darn bad.
I want on Mr. Irrelevant, you have to run through all 32 and how you rank them. If you're going to commit to this, I want to see it play
So
out.
I have until Friday then?
Yeah, you have until Friday, till the next Mr. Irrelevant. You got to rank all 32 best.
With a letter grade or a star rating? How you doing it?
No, 32 up to 1.
Yeah, 32 to 1.
You can give out individual grades for each one.
Well, Joshy DiMaggio will make the rare double appearance on Mr. Irrelevant. Gabe Neitzel will join me as well on Friday's edition, 12:30 ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel.
I don't know. It looks like I am.
And we will be breaking down the NFL schedule release videos together. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on ESPN Wisconsin, breaking down the Packers schedule. I recommend going to watch the schedule release video, although I don't think it's very good, but you are allowed to draw your own conclusions. Packers schedule, it's fun. And we have them all, or all three of us have them at 12 and 5. You've got NBA basketball coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin. Game number 5 of a tied series between the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That game at Chesapeake Bay Arena in Loud City. For Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, Chris Larson, Kyle Russo, I'm Alex Strofe saying goodnight. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Jen, Gabe, and Chew.
Suit up for the $800,000 Sports Car Series at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. April through May. Score free play, cash, one of 4 new Toyota GR86s or a new Toyota Supra. Play with your club card to earn entries. 5 times the entries are